The Galactic Council chamber was never quiet. It was a place of noise, of arguments, of leaders speaking in dozens of alien voices. But today, the silence felt heavy, like the air itself was holding its breath. Council leader Varen looked around the circle of high-backed chairs. His eyes stopped at one place, the seat of the human delegation. It was empty. The silver crust of Earth was gone. Even the flagpole behind the seat had been removed. Where are they? Varen asked, his deep voice echoing across the hall. No. One answered. Ambassador Refla, a tall insectoid with shining green eyes, finally spoke. It is worse than we thought. Their ships are gone. All of them. Varen frowned. Gone. Where? That is the problem, Refla replied. Nowhere. We searched their home system. The stations, the colonies, empty. A whisper moved through the chamber. Dozens of alien leaders leaned forward, their eyes filled with unease. Humans were not just another council member. They were warriors, traders, explorers. In many battles, it was human fleets that arrived first and left last. Ambassador Skara, a short-scaled creature with crimson markings, slammed his hand on the table. This is an insult. They left without a word? Varen shook his head. Humans don't do anything without reason. We must find out what happened. A young aide, pale and nervous, stepped forward with a small data crystal. This was found in the human quarters. Varen inserted the crystal into the central projector. A hologram flickered to life, the image of a human woman. Her uniform was torn, her face pale but determined. This is Captain Lena Halle of the Terran Alliance, she began. Her voice was calm, but there was something behind it. Fear. By the time you see this, we will be gone. Do not try to follow us. Do not search for us. Forget us. Her image leaned closer, her eyes scanning the alien faces in the room, as if she could still see them. We leave not because we are afraid, but because something is coming, something you cannot fight. And if we stay, you will not survive. Goodbye. The hologram ended. For several seconds, no one spoke. What does she mean? Refla asked. Softly, Varen's jaw tightened. It means they know something we don't, and I don't like being blind. The council erupted in noise again. Demands for explanations, theories of betrayal, accusations of cowardice. They abandoned us. Skara shouted. They took their fleets and left us to defend ourselves. Or, Refla countered, they left to defend us in some other way. Varen raised his hand, silencing the chamber. Whatever the reason, this changes everything. Without the Terrans, our patrol lines are weak. The outer colonies will be targets for pirates by the end of the week. He was right. Even as the meeting dragged on, reports began to come in. Small skirmishes, freighters raided, border stations going silent. The predators of the galaxy could smell weakness, and without the humans, the council reeked of it. Late that night, Varen stood alone in the human quarters. The rooms were clean, as if no one had ever lived there. But something felt wrong. He noticed a thin scratch on the floor, almost hidden under the carpet. Pulling the carpet back, he found a small metal case embedded in the deck. Inside was a single silver coin, engraved with the image of a human ship, and a star system he did not recognize. What were you planning, humans? He whispered. The next day, the council sent scouts to search for signs of the Terran fleets. They found only empty space. In one system, a deep space listening post had been destroyed, not by pirates, but by something precise, powerful. 2. Powerful. The chief scout, a four-eyed reptilian named Kor, stood before the council with his report. We tracked an energy signature unlike any known weapon. It matches nothing in our archives. The human's last known fleet route heads toward the outer dark. The words outer dark made several leaders shift uncomfortably. It was the edge of mapped space, beyond which lay only myths, ancient threats, dead civilizations, and things no one wanted to meet. Why would they go there? Skara demanded. Kor's voice dropped. Perhaps they didn't choose to go. Perhaps they were called. 3 weeks passed. Without human patrols, the galaxy began to fracture. Old rivalries flared. Small wars broke out on the fringes. And then, the first real sign appeared. A refugee ship arrived from the far rim, its engines barely working. The survivors were in shock, unable to speak for hours. When they finally did, their words sent a chill through the chamber. They came out of the dark, one alien whispered. Tall ships, black as shadow, they burned the sky. They didn't take prisoners. What did they look like? Varen asked out. The survivors' eyes went wide. They looked wrong. Like they weren't built for life as we know it. And when we saw them, we knew this is what the humans left to face. That night, Varen sat alone, turning the silver coin over in his hands. He could almost hear Captain Hale's voice again. Do not follow us. But Varen wasn't sure he could obey. If humanity had left to fight something in the outer dark, then the Council was already part of that war, whether it wanted to be or not. He looked out at the stars, each one a faint light in an endless void. Somewhere out there, the humans were moving, fighting, preparing. And somewhere beyond them, the thing they feared was coming closer. The question was not whether the Council would see the humans again. The question was, in what condition? The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with uneasy voices, far from the usual order and respect. The absence of the human delegation hung over every word spoken. Varen, the council leader, stood at the center, his gaze sharp as he tried to bring control to the chaos. Enough! Varen's voice cut through the noise like a blade. We must speak calmly. The humans left us a message, a warning. We need answers, not accusations. Ambassador Skara slammed his claw on the table, eyes blazing. Answers? They abandoned us in the worst moment. Without their fleets, our defenses are weak. We risk everything. Refla, always the voice of reason, raised her many arms. Skara, patience. The humans are not fools. If they left, there is a reason, maybe one we do not understand yet. Varen nodded slowly. We have learned their last known destination, the outer dark. Few have returned from there. It is a place of old stories, of death and danger. A low murmur spread through the room. The outer dark was a region beyond the mapped stars, where space itself seemed hostile. Ambassador Krell, a grizzled veteran with sharp horns, spoke quietly. Do we have any idea what they were facing? What made them leave so suddenly? No, Varen admitted, but we found this. He held up a data crystal. It contains intercepted transmissions from the Terran fleets, their last messages before silence. Refla inserted the crystal into the projector. A human voice filled the room. The enemy is unlike any we have faced. They destroy all. In their path, we fight not for glory, but for survival. The room fell silent again. Skara's face twisted in anger. Why did they not warn us? Why did they leave us blind? Perhaps they believed warning us would only bring panic. Varen suggested. Or perhaps they wanted to protect us by hiding the full truth. Suddenly, the chamber's communication screen flickered. A shaky transmission appeared, a scout ship from the outer rim, battered and barely functional. The pilot's voice was weak but urgent. We saw ships ... shadows in the dark. They burn stars. No mercy. Humans are right to fear them. Gasps echoed around the chamber. Varen's hands clenched. We must prepare. Without humans, the Council is vulnerable. But how? Asked Krell. Our fleets are scattered, morale is low. Refla looked around the room, her eyes steady. We cannot fight alone. We must unite, or all will fall. Varen nodded. Firmly. Then we begin. We will send a new fleet. We will search for humans, and for a way to face this enemy together. As the meeting ended, Varen stayed behind, staring at the empty human seat. "We may have lost allies," he whispered. "But we have not lost hope." The absence of humanity was felt everywhere. Space that once held Terran patrol fleets was now quiet, empty, and dangerous. The Council's outer colonies, once safe under human protection, were beginning to fall into chaos. Ambassador Reflalu looked over the latest report with growing worry. "Pirates have taken control of 3 outposts near the Mendera system," she said, voice tight. "Without human fleets, lawlessness is spreading fast." Council leader Varen frowned. "We must act quickly. The humans were the backbone of our defenses. Without them, we are exposed." In a dimly lit room on a border planet, Captain Jorn of the Council patrol sighed as his ship's sensors flickered with warning signals. "Another freighter under attack," he muttered. "We can't be everywhere." His first officer, a sharp-eyed alien named Tira, looked up. "If only the humans were here. They always knew how to fight these pirates." Jorn nodded. "Their departure has left a hole no one can fill." Back at the council chamber, Varen called an emergency meeting. "We must unite our forces, but..." Tensions rise between member worlds. Some blame others for the humans' disappearance. Ambassador Skara growled, "Why should my fleet risk lives for worlds that did nothing when the Terrans left?" Refla stepped forward. "Because if we fall divided, all will be lost. We must stand together or fall apart." Suddenly, the chamber's communication panel flashed red. A young scout's voice crackled in. "Unknown ships detected near the Verdes cluster. They show no identification. They are attacking mining colonies." Varen's eyes narrowed. "This is the beginning of the war the humans warned us about." Weeks passed, and reports of raids increased. Entire colonies were lost. Refugees flooded into safer systems, their faces pale with fear. In a crowded refugee camp, an elder named Liko told his story. "We saw ships like black flames crossing the stars. They destroyed everything. We begged for help, but no one came." Tyra, now with a council task force, listened carefully. "We must find a way to stop this. The humans left us a warning. Now it's our turn to act." One night, as Viren stared at the galaxy map, he whispered, "Without humanity, we are weak. But we still have a chance if we learn to fight as one." The Council's watchposts had been silent for days. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath. But deep in the shadows of space, something moved, something no one had seen before. Commander Tira stood on the bridge of the Council scout ship, vigilant, her eyes glued to the glowing screen. "Commander," her navigator said quietly, "there's a fleet approaching from beyond the outer dark. It's huge, and unlike anything in our records." Tyra's heart tightened. "Are they hostile?" The pilot shook his head slowly. "Unknown. But they're moving fast, and their shields are unlike any technology we know." In the council chamber, Varen listened as reports poured in from all corners of space. "First contact with the enemy," he said grimly. "This is what the humans feared." Ambassador Skara slammed his fist on the table. "Why didn't the humans prepare us? Why did they leave us in the dark?" Refla raised a calming hand. "Maybe they had no time. Maybe their fight was closer than we knew." Back on the Vigilant, alarms blared. The strange fleet opened fire on a nearby mining station. Bright explosions lit the darkness, tearing through defenses with terrifying power. Tira yelled, shields holding. "Return fire!" But the enemy ships moved like shadows, quick, silent, deadly. The Vigilant barely escaped with damage. As the fleet retreated, Tira called the council. "We can't hold them alone. The enemy is unlike any force we've faced. We need help fast." Varen's voice was steady but heavy. "We will send reinforcements, but time is running out." That night, the council gathered in emergency. The holomap showed the enemy's advance slow but unstoppable. "We are outmatched," Varen admitted. "The humans were our shield." and without them, we stand exposed. Suddenly, the chamber doors opened. A messenger rushed in with a fresh report. Commander Tyra's ship barely escaped an ambush near the Keldar system. The messenger said, "They lost half their fleet." A cold silence fell. The council members looked at each other, fear creeping into their eyes. Varen clenched his fists. "This is the beginning of our darkest hour. We must find the humans or perish." The council's fleets moved swiftly through the stars, searching for any sign of humanity. Commander Tyra led a special task force, her ship cutting through dark space toward Earth's last known coordinates. "Commander, the communications." Officer said nervously, "We've reached the Sol system, but there's no activity. All stations are silent." Tyra frowned. "Scan for life signs." The sensors beeped weakly. "No life detected." "The cities are dark, no power signals." The crew exchanged uneasy looks. Tyra gripped the console. How can an entire world be empty? Meanwhile, on the Council's command ship, Vereen studied reports from other human colonies. Every Terran colony is the same. Silent, abandoned. Ambassador Refless' antennae twitched. Were they attacked? Or did they leave? Why no? Trace? Varen shook his head. "I fear their enemies were closer than we thought." As the search continued, the Vigilant discovered wreckage of human warships near a distant star cluster. The hulls were twisted, scorched, battle-worn. Tyra's voice was grim. "They fought and lost here." Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up a faint signal, a distress call, weak and broken, but unmistakably human. "Put it through," Tyra ordered. Static filled the room, then a voice broke through, barely audible. "If anyone hears this, we fought to buy time. The enemy is too strong. Earth is lost. But we will return." The message ended. Silence fell. Varen's face was pale. "They didn't abandon us. They sacrificed everything." Rethla whispered, "Now it's our turn to fight or to die." The Council knew the desperate search for Earth had only just begun. The Council archives were old and dusty, filled with secrets many wished to forget. But now, desperate for answers, Varen ordered the halls opened. "Bring me everything on the Terran Alliance," he said, voice steady but urgent. "Ambassador." Rethla watched as the scholars sifted through ancient files. Hours passed. Then one elder archivist approached, his eyes wide. "There is something you must see," he said. In the dim light of the chamber, the archivist projected a hidden recording. It showed humans in a secret meeting, their faces grave. A human leader spoke quietly. "We have studied the enemy. They are not just invaders. They are a force of destruction beyond any war we know." Another voice added, "If we stay in the Council, we risk bringing this doom to all. We must leave alone." Varen's jaw tightened. "So they sacrificed us to protect the galaxy?" Rethla nodded slowly. "They knew the Council would not understand. They chose to fight their war in the outer dark." Suddenly, alarms blared. A scout rushed in, breathless. "Commander Tyra reports new enemy movements, faster, stronger, closer." Varen faced the room. "The enemy grows. The humans fought in silence. Now we must carry their fight forward." Rethla whispered, "The dark revelation is clear. Humanity left not to abandon us, but to save us. Now we owe them everything." The calm before the storm had ended. The dark shapes appeared at the edge of Council space, moving silently but with deadly purpose. Commander Tyra stood at the bridge, staring at the incoming fleet on the main screen. "They're here," she whispered. Her pilot responded, voice steady but tense. "We have full enemy formation. Their weapons are unlike anything we've faced." In the Council chamber, Varen faced the gathered leaders. "The enemy has arrived. We have days, maybe hours, before they strike our worlds." Ambassador Skara growled, "Without humans, how can we fight them?" Varen's eyes burned with resolve. "We fight because we must." For our survival. The first attack came on the planet Caldrus, a mining world vital to the Council's resources. The enemy ships burned through the atmosphere like black fire, destroying everything in their path. Tyra's fleet scrambled to defend the planet. Shields down, hull breach on the Sentinel, hold the line. Tyra shouted, we cannot let Caldrus fall. But the enemy was relentless. They moved with terrifying speed, their ships striking like predators. Back in the council chamber, news feeds showed other worlds burning. Varen clenched his fists. We underestimated them, he said. This war will test every one of us. As Caldrus fell, a small transmission cut through the chaos, a human voice. Council, this is Captain Lena Hale. We are returning. Prepare yourselves. The chamber went silent. Hope flickered like a fragile light in the darkness. Darkness filled the council chamber as the emergency alarm sounded again. Commander Tyra stood tense on the bridge of the Vigilant, eyes fixed on the main screen. The human fleet, battered and fewer than before, was finally appearing beyond the system's edge. Captain Lena Hale, Tyra whispered as the communication channel opened. The worn, steady voice of the human leader echoed through the room. We return after the longest fight. Our ships bear scars, and our numbers are less, but we bring the fight to the enemy. Varen's heart pounded. We feared you lost. His voice cracked with relief and pain. How did you survive? Hale's voice was calm but firm. We fought through the outer dark. The enemy is brutal more than anyone imagined. We lost worlds, families, friends. But we learned their weakness. Now together we can end this. The council chamber fell silent, listening to the voice of hope. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The enemy's fleet was advancing fast, cutting off reinforcements. Tyra's voice broke in. They are closing in. We must act now or everything is lost. Varen raised his hand, steadying the leaders. This is our final stand. Humanity's last signal is our call to fight, not just to survive, but to win. The combined fleets surged forward, engines roaring, weapons blazing. The battle was fierce, with ships exploding in bursts of fire. The humans fought with a fury born of pain and hope. During a brief pause in the chaos, Hale sent one last message. To all who hear this, remember why we fight. For our home, for our future, for each other. As the battle raged on, the council knew this was not the end, but a new beginning. The return of humanity was the spark to ignite their last greatest fight.